Hello ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about my two favorite subjects today. Cancer and boobies. Everybody likes boobies. I'm going to dedicate this video to my dad, my mom, any of my friends or family, extended family, that's died of cancer, specifically emphysema. Gets in through your limbs and goes everywhere. And anybody that I don't want to know that died of cancer. Hopefully this helps out, and you have to pardon me for my demeanor. I did something for this video I normally do not do. I smoked a cigarette, and I smoke cigars. Inherently, cigar smokers, they have less of a chance of dying of cancer than cigarette smokers, because cigar smokers do not inhale. That's the topic of this subject, inhaling. Surgeon General warns us that inhalation of cigarette smoke causes cancer. Well, I've made a direct link between cancer and gold. Not the gold that we wear, isotope of gold. And pardon me again if I'm wrong, but I think it's AU-197, which is a radioactive gold. It has a 30-minute half-life. And the half-life, when it's done with the reaction, after 30 minutes, it starts to vape off. And then you get, for the next 45 minutes plus, you get the benefit of the radioactive vapor. Okay. Problem is that it reduces down into a cumulative effect within our systems. This represents what we were finding from the last video, and the last video shows you the gold plasma, the orgone, whatever you want to call it, and this represents what was left over. For this conversation, we're going to call this cancer. In air. Solidified. In air. Okay? So, for this video, like I said, I smoked a cigarette. Here's what happens when you run the cigarette down into the butt. It melts the fibers. Here's a cigarette when I got into the fibers a little bit in the middle of the cigarette. And here is the vapor coming off that cigarette. Plasma. Cold plasma. Okay? Here is a cigarette butt that's a couple of days old now, and as you can see, it's still got some plasma vaping off in there, but it's way subdued. Okay. Here's the cigarette butts here, and here. This is just a timing unit from, I believe, my grandfather's jet engine days. This is also this also has a lot to do with congestive heart failure. Here's an older cigar caught in the plastic. What happens is the monatomic gold reduces into metallic gold. But it's got to go through plasma first. When it goes through the plasma stage, it has the ability to turn into a tar in our lungs. Now, I have a lot of things to cover, so I'm going to speed this up super quick. My understanding is really clear about this, is that if we just take our cigarette and blow out the cigarette. Don't inhale the cigarette, blow out the cigarette. If you blow out the cigarette in the same pressure that you would inhale it with, which is about 1 to 2 pounds per square inch over our atmospheric pressure. If you go 1 to 2 pounds over, you defeat what's called an exothermic reaction. In an exothermic reaction, it's self-explosive, self-detonation, decay. When you have a cigarette and you blow out, your carbon dioxide mixes with the burning cigarette, creates a blue smoke. That blue smoke is hydrogen. When you draw in the cigarette, you're mixing the monatomic with metallic plasma with oxygen. The oxygen immediately turns into a carbon tar. You can see from the pictures here the carbon tar in the filter. Now the cigarette companies have done a really good job of capturing the monatomic in the filter and the gold in the filter. So yeah, you probably run around some casinos and pick up some cigarettes and make some money. But it's not that way. When you blow out the cigarette, you're drawing in fresh oxygen. That fresh oxygen puts a pressure against our lungs, which normally adsorb oxygen. When you blow out on the cigarette, you're going to draw in the monatomic. When you draw in the monatomic through the cigarette, through the vacuum, the monatomic controls the vacuum. When you push against your lungs, that oxygen gets reduced down to a monatomic. The hydrogen from our bodies will go ahead and disintegrate carbon. Okay? Through this series of videos, I have proven that we can draw gold from the atmosphere through this seamlessly simple device. Okay? Now look, a little while later, and we're back to copper. Okay? Completely off the charts radioactive as it was cooling down. That's why we're in a Faraday cage. That's why we use boron as a capturing agent for the radioactivity. Boron absorbs radioactivity. Now, here's my cigar. I want you to just we're going to try this with a video. This jacket was my mother's, rest in peace. She died of congestive heart failure, and we're going to get to all this. Excuse me. Okay. When you have a puff of a cigarette, I want you to look at the color of the smoke. It's white, okay, indicating monatomic coming out of solution at about 140, 200 degrees, cold plasma. Everything that lives and grows from the soil has monatomic in it. Okay, that's why after it rains, all the plants and everything go through the roof, because they absorb the monatomic, but they also absorb the metals, and through microelectrolysis, they're able to regenerate new metals as the plant's DNA dictates. When you blow out on the cigar, notice the first puffs of smoke are white because I'm clearing my lungs. Okay. I'm hoping that we can all see this. But now the smoke is blue. Okay? Because I'm mixing the monatomic with carbon dioxide. I'm also absorbing plasma out of my body. As it passes the cigar, you'll see on the end there's a red vapor, indication there's gold. Oldest smell thing on the books. I'm not really telling you guys anything that's already out there. I'm just putting it together in an understanding, educational way. So this video is completely shareable and open source. Blow out your cigarettes and eat your vegetables. Tell your friends, your loved ones, not to stop smoking. Enjoy their cigarettes. Cigarette companies will be happy because when you blow out, they burn faster, but you end up healthier. What's the price of health? You're going to not have the radioactivity buzz that you get from the caffeine effect. You'll get a monatomic. Okay? Additionally, when you draw in the cigarette, the burning process creates ozone. Well, ozone will just simply melt the delicate fibers in your lungs. Now, last time around was proven that ozone bubbled through olive oil creates a safe gas to breathe because you didn't bring the hydrogen with it. The hydrogen got stuck in the olive oil. The olive oil eventually coagulates. Congestive heart failure, coagulation of your blood through breathing hydrogen. Okay? Additionally, when you blow out, the ozone wants to balance. So it's going to carry a charge to your skin because you've changed the potential from your body to the atmosphere. You've reversed your potential. Okay? Now you're in a positive potential. So your outer skin is in a negative potential. Ozone's positive. It's going to draw to your skin and absorb through your skin correctly. Hydrogenated olive oil can be found on www.organoids, oxygenie.com. Look up the story of Nikola Tesla and look up the story of ozone. It shows you that ozone infused in the blood goes past the molecules, attacks carbon, and gets rid of it, so into a position of monatomic that can be removed through our system, just like we eat our fruits and vegetables. We are a consumer. Cigarette companies will be happy. The doctors and the medical industry will be happy because the cigarette companies get to pay the doctors more money. In the next video, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. We're going to go into detail. I used to own a very badass organic lemon farming operation that was taken away from me by fraud. I started my lemming operation for several reasons, but the biggest reason is to bring me to this day right here. Okay, this is a premium seedless organic lemon picked from my grove that has no water because of STND's fraud. We'll get into that later. But they're still holding. This is just a lineup, a brief tutorial of the next video. This is a drink that is an open source for personal use cocktail that I enjoy every day and when I can. Just want to take a minute and just say thank you.